Hello friends, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about 3 by 2 matrix, how to multiply 3 by 2 matrix, how to find inverse of 2 by 2 matrix. Of course, I've talked about it before, and how to use matrix to solve simultaneous equations. This is actually 3 by 2 matrix because the column has 3 numbers while the row has 2 numbers, and this is 2 by 2 matrix. So for me to find the value of find A and B, that is A times B. So I'm going to write out this 3 by 2 matrix. Okay, that is minus 1, 7, and 4. Then 4, 6, and 2. Then multiply by this 2 by 2 matrix. 2 here, 3 here, 1 here, 5 here. So if you listen well, you know how to, basically the same way of doing the multiplication. You multiply column numbers by the row numbers. So minus 1 and 4 will multiply, 7 and 6 will multiply, 4 and 2 will multiply. They will multiply this and this. So doing that, I will have minus 1. I'm going to draw out this line. Minus 1 times 2. That is going to give me minus 1 times 2 plus 4 times 3. 4 times 3. Then I will go with 7 and 6. 7 times 2. That's going to give me 7 times 2 plus 6 times 3. 6 times 3. It's better to write it out to avoid mistake. Then I'll go with 4 and 2. 4 times 2. 4 times 2 plus 2 times 3. 2 times 3. So I'm done with this column. So I will do the same for 1 and 5. Then minus 1 times 1. That's going to give me minus 1 times 1 plus 4 times 5. 4 times 5. So it's better to draw this as well. Then I'll go with 7 and 6. 7 times 1. 7 times 1 plus 6 times 5. 6 times 5. Then I'll go with 4 and 2. 4 times 1. 4 times 1 plus 2 times 5. 2 times 5. Okay. So this is how to do the multiplication. So for me to find, I'm going to simplify this. So simplifying this, I'll have minus 1 times 2. That's going to give me minus 2 plus 4 times 3 is 12. So minus 2 plus 12, that's going to give me plus 10. I'll write it here. Then 7 times 2 is 14. 6 times 3 is 18. So 14 plus 18, that is going to give me 32. I'll write out 32 here. Then 4 times 2 is 8. 2 times 3 is 6. 8 plus 6, that's going to give me 14. I'll write it here. Then the same, I'll do the same here. Minus 1 times 1 is minus 1. 4 times 5 is 20. Minus 1 plus 20, that is going to give me 19. Then 7 times 1 is 7. 6 times 5 is 30. 7 plus 30, that's going to give me 37. Then 4 times 1 is 4. 2 times 5 is 10. So 4 plus 10 is going to give me 14. So this is the result when you multiply this by this. When you multiply this by this, that is 3 by 2 matrix against this 2 by 2 matrix. So this is the answer. It's very simple, basically the same step. Remember to multiply the column by the row numbers. So the second one says find the inverse of B. Find inverse of 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, I'm going to write out the formula again, how to find inverse of 2 by 2 matrix. So if you're looking for, if you have this matrix, A, B, C, D, so you want to find the, maybe this is B, you want to find inverse of B. Remember I said finding the inverse of B is equal to 1 over reciprocal of the determinant. How do we find the determinant of this? By saying this times this diagonal, you multiply the diagonals and subtract them. A times D, that's going to give me AD minus B times C, that's BC, then times. Remember what you do to the diagonals, the diagonal numbers. So this A and D will be exchanged. D goes up, A comes down. But for this main diagonal, you multiply them with minus sign or minus 1. So it becomes minus B and minus C. So you don't exchange them. So this is the inverse of B. This is the formula. I'm going to use this formula to find the inverse of B. So finding the inverse of B now. So this is going to be 1 over, that's the reciprocal of the determinant. This is the determinant. Now this is going to be 5 times 2, that is 10, minus 3 times 1, that is 3, then times. Then remember that 5 will go up, 2 will come down. 5 goes up, 2 comes down. Then I'll multiply 1 and 3 with minus 1. So it becomes minus 1 and minus 3. So this is very simple. Now B inverse is equal to 1 over 7. 10 minus 3 is 7. So 7 times 5 minus 3 minus 1, 2. So this is the answer, the inverse of B. Now, the third question says, using your answer to parts II, solve the simultaneous equations. This is where you need to listen carefully. So I'm going to write out this. B, the same, using answer to part II. So let me just write out the answer, because I'm going to clean here. So 1 over 7 times 5 up, minus 3 down, minus 1 up, 2 down. Okay, I'm going to clean up here. So you need to listen to learn how to solve simultaneous equation using metrics. Now, for me to solve this, I'm going to write out these numbers: 4, 6, 2, 10. This is 10. Then I'll put my bracket. So this is matrix. So times, we're looking for x and y. We don't know them. Is equal to this minus 3 and the minus 22. This is how to arrange this in a matrix. So now I'm going to reduce these numbers, which is the same, by factorizing this. If I factorize this, I'm going to have 2 is a common factor to all of them. I'll have 2 here, have 3 here, have 1 here, have 5 here. Okay, it's getting close to something, the numbers in this bracket, the inverse of B. So I did it because if you multiply the numbers by 2 again, you are getting these numbers back. So they are the same. So times by x over y, sorry, that is the xy is equal to minus 3 minus 2 minus 22, sorry. So what do I need to do? Okay, I might decide to divide across with these 2, which is the coefficient of this, or a factor of this. So dividing across with 2. So if I divide across with 2, okay, I'm going to have this. I will repeat this: 2, 3, 1, and 5. Then we have x and y. Okay, is equal to. So I'm going to divide these numbers by 2. Dividing minus 3 by 2, I will have minus 1.5. If you check calculator, that's what it's going to give you. Dividing minus 22 by 2, I'm going to have minus 11. Okay, so 2 is gone. So the next thing is to divide across with this. Dividing across with this, in order to get x and y. Remember, the goal is just to find the value of x and y. So I'll write y here. So is equal to, I'm dividing across with this. So I'll have minus 1.5 and minus 22. Sorry, minus 11. Because I have 11 here. 122 is divided by 2. Minus 11. Then times. Remember, I'm dividing across with this. You can say times 1 over this. 1 over this, because we are dividing across. So 1 over 2, 3, 1, 5. 2, 3, 1, 5. So now this 1 over, remember in mathematics, for instance, we have 1 over b is equal to b inverse in indices. This and this are the same. So if I 1 over, so I'm going to find the inverse of this. That is the inverse of this 2, 3, 1, and 5. And finding the inverse is going to give me this, because they say using your answer to part 2 solve the simultaneous equation. The inverse of this must surely give me this. Okay, let's check. 5 times 2. Remember, we got the inverse. It was like this before. When we got the inverse, when we solved for the inverse, we got this. So I remember that this and this are the same. So the inverse will give me this. So what I need to do now, I'm going to write xy is equal to, I'm going to multiply this inverse by this. So I'm going to have 1 over 7, 2, there is a 5 minus 3 minus 1, 2 times by minus 1.5 minus 11. So I'm going to multiply this. Okay, so let me just clean here to have space. Alright, so basically I'm going to use the same way, the same system of multiplication. So remember that I'm going to say 5 times minus 1.5. That's going to give me alright, 1 over 7. Then 5 times minus 1.5, that's going to give me minus 7, minus 7.5, minus 7.5. That's what it's going to give me. Then minus 1 times minus 11, that's going to give me plus 11, right? Then I'll go with minus 3 and 2. Then minus 3 times minus 1.5, that's going to give me plus 4.5. That's plus 4.5. I'm going to write 4.5 here, then plus. Then 2 times minus 11, that is going to give me minus 22. Minus 22. So, like this. Okay, I have this now. Okay, this is the same thing as minus, okay, write 1 over 7 times minus 7.5 plus 11. That's going to give me 3.5. Then this is plus times minus, and it's going to give me minus 4.5 minus 22. That's going to give me minus 17.5. Minus 17.5. So this is the same thing as, so I'm going to divide across with 7. So this is the same thing as, because I'm multiplying the bracket with 1 over 7. So meaning I'm going to say 3.5 times 1. That's going to give me 3.5 over 7. 3.5 divided by 7. Extend this, make it bigger. Then minus 17.5 times 1. That's going to give me minus 17.5 divided by 7. So this is equal to 3.5 divided by 7. That is going to give me 0.5. Then minus 17.5 divided by 7. That's going to give me minus 2.5. Minus 2.5. You check your calculator, that is minus 2.5. So remember that we have this is equal to this. That means this is equal to x and y. So x and y. So now from here, it means that the upper variable is x, the lower variable is y. So that means x is equal to 0.5. Equate it, s is equal to 0.5. yy is equal to minus 2.5. So this is the answer. This is the value of x and the value of y. This is how to use metrics to solve simultaneous equation. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you've not done so. Make your comments. Your contribution is required. I will bring in more. Thank you once again.